To our December meeting. I'd like to say it's nice to see all these faces, but I don't think we're the reason. So I'd like to invite, well, let me call the meeting to order, first of all. So the meeting is now in order for the Sweetwater County School District Number 1 Sweetwater Board of Trustees. I'd like to have, in addition to our students over here from Eastside, any other students that are going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, if you would come forward, please. Yeah, we have some from Walnut and Desert View. Our choir over here is from East Side. Just right here in front. Yeah, just right down here in front. Oh, okay, perfect. I'd like to acknowledge we have 3 new trustees with us tonight. While our students are coming forward, I'd like to acknowledge Trustee Kari Cochran. Just gave a hand raise there. I know your name's in front of you sitting. Also Danielle Schumacher, and from Wamsutter, Angelica Wood. So those are our 3 new trustees. We also have Truanne Berg, who is right here on the end, is our high school representative. She's from Black Butte High School. So do we have all the students up here that are going to lead us? Okay, then if you would stand and join them in the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, if you want to turn around, there's a flag right here. Okay. See the flag? Truanne, you want to start them off? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Santa? Okay. We'd like to have, now if we could have the East Side Choir sing the national anthem for us. from the Circuit Court, 3rd Judicial District here in Sweetwater County. He's going to lead the affirmation of the trustees' oath of office. Our trustees, our three new trustees took the office. They actually took office December 1st at noon, and they've taken the oath, but I've asked Judge Prokost to come forward and lead us in that affirmation for all the trustees so that the public is aware of the oath of office that we take. Is it on mic? Okay.
If we could have everyone stand and raise their right hand, please. And I'll try and break this down so we don't have to remember too much. And I, and everyone please state your name. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wyoming, and that I will faithfully perform and discharge the duties of my office as trustee of Sweetwater County School District Number 1, State of Wyoming, as required by law. That I have not paid or contributed or promised to pay or contribute, either directly or indirectly, any money or other valuable thing to procure my nomination, election, and appointment, except for necessary and proper expenses expressly authorized by law, that I have not knowingly violated any election law of the state or procured it to be done by others in my behalf, and that I will not knowingly receive, directly or indirectly, any money or other valuable thing for the performance or non-performance of any act or duty pertaining to my office other than the compensation allowed by law. Congratulations. Thank you.
Now proceed with the recognition.
This is like the best board meeting ever. Now I have to read names with a straight face, right? The Board of Trustees Superintendent Kelly McGovern and Sweetwater County School District Number 1 would like to recognize the following employees, students, trustees, and community partners. Trustees and superintendent, please come down to the front. While they're making their way down, just a quick announcement that it wouldn't be the holidays without a visit from jolly old St. Nick himself. Santa Claus found a Grinch of a friend on his way to the cab this evening. Together, they have a small treat for the students in attendance this evening. So when we're done with recognition, they can go ahead and hand those treats out. Well, when we're done saying their names, I guess, or however you want to do it. Go ahead. I don't know. I'll find out. It probably says in here. Mr. Max Mickelson has served on the District Board of Education since 2012 for a total of 10 years. We would like to thank Max for his community service, commitment to the students and staff of our district, and wish him the very best as he extends his leadership to the city of Rock Springs as our future mayor. Miss Carol Jellicoe received 2 awards at the Wyoming School Boards Association conference held in November. The first award was for Leadership and Learning Level 1, and the second is a Hall of Fame award. Both awards reflect on Carol's dedication to trustee training and serving local school districts in the highest capacity. The Hall of Fame award has been extended to former Sweetwater One trustees, including Robert Ramsey, Norma Stensis, and Emma Waldner. Thank you, Ms. Jellicoe, for being a part of this group of trustees. Rock Springs High School school teacher, Miss Teresa Algier, was selected as the Health Teacher of the Year by the Wyoming Association for Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance. Teresa earned this award from her fellow peers in the Wayford throughout the state. Sweetwater One has had many PE and health teachers earn this award. We are very proud to add Teresa to this caliber of teacher leaders. Thank you for being a role model to our students and a lifelong learner to your colleagues. And Mr. Supis is up here, but any other high school admin, if you'll please join us up here. Oh, I don't know where he's at. I thought I saw him. Where her thing is. Sorry, Tricia.
Congratulations.
Okay, guys, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
All K-12 schools in Sweetwater 1 serve a second chance breakfast daily to help students focus and learn. Rock Springs High School has 4 community members that help regularly with second chance breakfast. We would like to recognize these adults that not only bring the community into RSHS, but build relationships with our students. If Nicole Height is here, Brenda Phillips, Pat Cisneros, and Kathy Witt. If Ms. Aramosby, Mr. Supis, or any other high school admin are here, if you'll join them up front for a picture.
Guys, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Okay, next we would like to thank the East Side Choir members. We are going to give your certificates to Dr. Wells and to Miss Searle to be able to hand out to you, but I am going to read off your names, and then the board members and superintendent will join you over there for a picture. And then Dr. Wells and Miss Searle, if you'll also join them for a picture when it's time. So girls only, 4th grade girls only, Bradley Allen, Indira Diaz, Liliana Armine, Diacomo, Aja Blanche, Evelyn Ham, Ariana Badhorse, Bella Thomas, Emma Tervort, Allison Wintermote, Chloe Smith, Gracie Remick, Abigail Hall, Shiloh Iono, Zaylee Wilcock, Aubrey Mayer, Elia Bruns, Lily Tedder, Anika Brady, Isabella Wedgwood, Edna Vesterby, Riley Kirby, Julie Wild, and Maddie Gribble. 5th grade girls only, Alexandria Burton, Katana Dunbar, Daniela Eastman, Linda Iguade, Kinsley Hayes, Avery Jones, Takara Keach, Vanessa Overy, Melody Pooler, Lily Tulaga, Peyton Welp. All boys. Fisher Copeland, Kira DiBernardi, Camden Dahlberg, Joshua Doherty, Jason Duran, Zameson Gherkin, Santiago Homer, Luis Landeros, Charles Lindsay, Samuel Lowell, Jack Millett, Ramses Alvarado, Noah Moody, Alex Pacheco, Sam Parker, Axel Post, Elijah Sanders, Lawrence Smith, Steve Sweekle, Jack Sweet Williams, Robert Roswell, Edgar Felix. Sixth grade girls only. Franny Copeland, Naya Crosby, Kira DiBernardi, Madison Dever, Anna Durant, Raylyn Fisher, Asia Foster, Lily Hanson, Tinley Hanson, Annalie Homer, Haley Morgan, Natalie Nussbaum, Nellie Vesterby, Paige Wilcock, Kaylee Wilson, and Ella Wigg. This is also with support of the following teachers. If you are here and would like to join the picture, Ms. Jasmine Garcia, Jolene Levinson, Lorna Bath, Carly Rutledge, Tammy Rice, Lindsay Parks, Heather Young, Kendall Lee, Samantha Stewart, Mandy Sewell, Sherry Moran, Tyson Young, Cassidy Brown, Anna Johnston, Elizabeth Branwell, and John Herman. Now we can give them a big round of applause.
All right, guys, are we ready? Yeah. One, two, three, say cheese.
A lot of the students do how much they use in the contract and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Okay.
We have Walnut coming up next in Desert View, so please don't leave.
Yeah, it's a No worries. Yep, it's just in my office upstairs. Hope you had another day.
So I am bound to mess up, and if Vashant Westbrook is still out there, gosh, I can't believe I skipped this paragraph completely. And she's the leader of the choir, and I did not mention her name to recognize her. I don't know, 7 years of this, and I'm still making mistakes, so. I know, but before you sneak off, I need to recognize you for the choir. So we want to thank you and the East Side Choir for spreading the vocal holiday cheer this evening. They're always amazing. You do the most amazing job. This choir is led by Miss Vashant Westbrook with the continuous support of all the teachers. All of your positivity is contagious, and we just thank you so much for the sneak peek at the couple songs for your upcoming concert. So I'd like to give this to you and get a picture of you with the board members. Okay. Thank you.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Vashant. Walnut Elementary kindergarten and first grade students made holiday decorations to spruce up the boardroom this evening, in addition to our secret elf that decorates the boardroom regularly. We would like to thank our art teacher, Jamie Morgan, for teaching students a love of arts and for their classroom teachers. We also have kindergarten and first grade representatives from Walnut joining us this evening. Thank you to all of these students and also to the following student representatives. Miss Supis and Miss Morgan, I'll have you also join. Thank you. If we could have Student Representative Ellie Shutton. Thomas Fry. Lillian Baxter. Liam, I'm so sorry. Lincoln Devish. Isabella Gutierrez. Ari Peck.
Is that all?
Can you get a picture?
Desert View Elementary third grade students and staff, integrated science and community service, sorry. Yes, I'm so sorry. Can you guys want to come get another picture? And we're going to have your teachers come up and get in the picture. Sorry,
All right, you guys ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yes. Desert View Elementary third grade students and staff integrated science and community service together to benefit future pets at the Red Desert Humane Society. The third graders are conducting a penny drive and making homemade dog treats and science for Christmas gifts for the Red Desert Humane Society. We would like to thank you all of the students and the teachers involved in this project. And we invite the students and teachers that are here this evening and Miss Blake.
We just want to share a little bit about what they were doing before they go through. At Desert View, we love animals and pets, and we would love to all have our pets at school, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But in lieu of that, our third grade team takes advantage of this. Our teachers are Mrs. Stainbrook, Mrs. West, and Miss Lang. Okay, who's gonna share what you did? Bex.
So we did like some dog treats and we made a poster and then we went to every second grade classroom and first grade and we had like some pennies to bring in and we like had and we used the pennies for toys, beds, and food. We for the dogs and cats that were there.
We have an example of the dog treats, but I think they ended up making, what was it? About 400 dog treats for these. And then Liam is going to share how much was earned.
So over this, we earned $255.66.
Again, we'd love to have our pets at school.
We would like to recognize the students and teachers this evening. Shelby Jo Christensen. Oh, okay. Thank you. Macy Calhoun. Oh, God. This is like a hazard. Let's hold this. Liam Bell. It's right behind you, I think. Draven Johnson. Okay. Jeannalie Blumel. Janalie. Braxton Bailing. Leo Bernardus. Yeleni Godoy. Yeleni. Hudson Nillis. Did I get that right? I'm Indian Strong. Erica Lang. Debbie Stainbrook and Katie West. You'll be in the picture too. You have to be.
My turn, guys, real quick. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, guys.
That concludes recognition this evening.
Not a false part, but 60 is the end of recognition. I'll walk you out.
They just have more faith in you than us.
Thank you to all the students and the parents that brought them. Thank you very much. It's a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Santa.
I have one. I have one. No, it's good. Thank you. Thank you, Santa. Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Murray, would proceed with the roll call, please?
Ms. Cochran? Mr. Mickelson?
Here.
Ms. Schumacher? Ms. Summers?
Here.
Ms. Thompson?
Here.
Ms. Wood? Chair Jellicoe?
Here. We do have a quorum. Item C, approval of the agenda. I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda. We do have a couple of addendum items that I will point out as we go through it. So Mr. Mickelson has moved. Is there a second? Second by Miss Wood. I've got to learn the new voices. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Okay, this is the first board meeting technically of the new term. So at this point, we will reorganize the board. The board positions are chairman, vice chairman, clerk, and treasurer. When do you want to take it now?
I could, if that's okay.
Okay, Mr. Mickelson would like to make a statement.
So as you may know, in November, I was elected to be mayor of Rock Springs, and statutorily, you cannot serve on the school board and as mayor. So this will be my last meeting. I brought a letter for the board, and my intent is to resign formally at the end of this meeting because I'll be sworn in January 3rd. So I can't attend. I was going to come to the January meeting, but the lawyers said no. So in any event, it has been a tremendous pleasure. And I had a whole speech written that I thought was very clever. And then I went to the high school and junior high band concert And I was watching not just the band and junior high teachers and the dedication and the time that they gave to those kids, but our 5-6 band teachers and all of the teachers who showed up to support their kids. And it really brought home to me the work and dedication that educators put into their jobs. And so it has been sometimes a trial and definitely a pleasure to be on the board. But compared to the work that you all do in our district every day, it's really pretty minimal. So thank you guys for what you do. And thank you for letting me be up here as long as I was.
Thank you. We'll now proceed with the reorganization of the board. We'll start with nominations for the chair. Are there any nominations for the chair?
Madam Chair, I would nominate Carol Jellicoe to be the chair.
Other nominations? Other nominations? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you very much. Vice Chair. Nomination for Vice Chair.
Madam Chair, I would nominate Stephanie Thompson to be the vice chair.
Other nominations? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Congratulations, Stephanie, as the Vice Chair. Clerk. Nominations for clerk.
Madam Chair, I would nominate Kari Cochran.
Any other nominations? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, nay. Congratulations, Kari, you're the new clerk. Treasurer.
Madam Chair, I would nominate Andrea Summers.
Okay, Andrea Summers has been nominated for the treasurer. Other nominations? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Congratulations, Andrea, as the new treasurer. So that you're not on the spot tonight, I've asked Mr. Duncan to take care of the treasurer's reports tonight, and then that way we'll be able to get you the information ahead of time next time.
Thank you.
Okay, so these will be the officers for the remainder of this year until this time we reorganize at the December meeting each year. Okay, superintendent reports. We have the audit.
Good evening, Chairman Jellicoe, fellow board members, Superintendent McGovern. This is Mike Cometto with Skogan Cometto and Associates in Casper, the auditors for the district.
Please proceed.
I would like to thank all of you for allowing us to continue as the auditors for the district. I would like to thank Mr. Duncan, Ms. Harvey, and all of the finance folks for all of their assistance during the audit. Just kind of a brief overview of the financials. They're broken down into three main parts. We have the basic financial statements, we have the management's discussion and analysis, and then we have other or recommended supplementary information as well as other supplementary information for the financials. The management's discussion and analysis is a brief overview prepared by management based on the amounts reported in the basic financial statements and understanding of the district's activities during the year. Basic financial statements include our auditor's report on the financials, as well as government-wide financial statements, the statements of net position and activities, and then fund financial statements, which you folks are generally more familiar with, as they're based on your individual funds that you see monthly. We also have the required supplemental information in there. which includes a general fund, the major special revenue fund budget to actual reports, as well as disclosures on the net pension liability and contributions to Wyoming Retirement, as well as the district's post-employment benefit, the health insurance program. Within the other supplementary information are various schedules for what do I want to say? Just the schedules of general fund expenses and revenues, grant balance sheets, expenses, and various other detailed information that gets all consolidated into the fund financial statements and then upwards into the government-wide financial statements. Just some highlights so we don't carry on too long. Pages 1 through 4 of our report is the auditor's report on the financials. This includes a clean opinion again this year, as the district's finances were in pretty clean shape during our audit. Page 16 shows the statement of net position. This is in essence the district's overall balance sheet. It shows all the assets, liabilities, and the remaining net position of the district. Total assets for the district at the end of June 30th, 2022 were $301 million. That was compared to $281 million at the end of 2021, which is an increase of $20.5 million. Majority of this increase is in cash and in taxes receivable. District liabilities at the end of June were $87.7 million compared to 11 million, or compared to 111 million in 2021, a decrease of approximately $24 million. The majority of this was due to changes in the district's proportionate share of the system's net pension liability and changes in the health insurance benefit OPEB plan. The net position of the district was $156 million at $157 million at June 30th compared to $138 million at June 30th of 2021, showing an increase of $18.9 million. On page 17 of the financial is the statement of activities. This reports the overall expenses and revenues of the district. Overall expenses of the district were $87.1 million compared to $90.9 million in June of 2021, a decrease of $3.8 million. Program revenues were $18.9 million compared to $24.7 million in 2021, which is a decrease of $5.8 million. This decrease was mainly due to a decrease in capital grants, offset by some increased funding under the CARES program in 2022. Overall general revenues were $87.2 million compared to $85.7 million in 2021, a slight increase of $1.5 million. Overall, the district was in a fairly strong position as of June 30th based on the audit. Some of the other significant pages that I think we should look at would be the schedule of expenditures of federal awards on page 83 and 84. This notes that the district had $14 million in federal expenditures from various grants throughout the year. Pages 86 and 87 is our auditor's report on internal control and compliance under government auditing standards. We had nothing to report within that audit report. Pages 88 and 89 is our auditor's report on compliance for major programs and on internal control under the uniform guidance. During our audit, we found an instance of non-compliance and a breakdown in internal control related to the allowable cost principle under the Education Stabilization Fund under the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Securities Act. This was the ESSER grants. The finding is disclosed in the schedule of findings and question costs at pages 92 and 93, 94. What we found was an employee was hired for a position under an ESSER grant. That employee changed his position, but the wages were still paid under the grant for the first few months of the year, August through December. This cost a question cost of about $53,000 under the grant that we are recommending that the district review and pay back. Also included in our packet was a recommendation to management letter, just discussing some stuff related to the capital assets of the district. Capital assets make up approximately 50% of the district's overall assets. The controls are getting better in accumulating those costs for capital assets and the construction in progress. But we did find an instance where an accounts payable at the end of June 2021 was not picked up and included in construction in progress and was recorded in the 21-22 fiscal year. We also are asking that the management and district look at GASB's implementation guidance for number 2015-1 related to significant purchases. This is some guidance related to large purchases, such as computers in bulk, that may be under the district's individual threshold for capitalization, but it's a significant purchase. So, and with that, I'd be open for any questions.
Any questions? It looks like you got off pretty easy tonight.
Please, I'd say so.
Any questions? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We have a second superintendent's report on the leave committee. Mrs. Bolton?
Superintendent McGovern, Chair Jellicoe, members of the board. I was asked just to give a brief update on the leave committee and why we're doing it, since we have some new board members. Last year at negotiations, it was negotiated that the district would put a team together to look at PTO, paid time off option, in lieu of our current sick and personal days. We have had 32 responses of individuals that are interested in serving on the committee. Those dates right now are January 16th, January 30th, February 13th, and February 27th. I did send out just a short survey that has the 3 things that we discussed last time that this committee's already done this one time. So I brought up the stuff that was mentioned last time to get the feel of the district and just to get some feedback for the committee, of which there were some great questions, comments, and feedback for the committee to look at and consider. It was asked about if we're looking at PTO, are you okay with the committee looking at less days? So instead of 10 sick days, 3 personal days, it was an arbitrary number that was stated. So I put 8 to 10 as an example. The overwhelming majority said no. Not to have unlimited carryover every single year. The majority said no. And blackout days, and the majority said no. So I did ask what the will of the group was for looking at PTO, just to kind of get a feel for the district. And we had 35.7% say they do not want us to look at it, 36.2 said yes, and 28.2 said maybe. There's been a lot of comments and concerns. I've gotten quite a few emails wondering where this had come up, so I'm glad that we're giving an update. Absolutely no decisions have been made. Nothing is going in preconceived. The committee will get together and come up with options to then send out for feedback that are more specific. There was nothing specific that we could send out. This is an entire system change and an adjustment to our leave if this is the way that the will of the group chooses to bring forth an option to the board, or actually it'll go to negotiations. So there are many aspects to look at. I had a couple comments saying that it was just a name change, and it is not. This is a huge overhaul, which is fine, but we need to be upfront and forth with individuals of what comes with PTO as well. Good, bad, or indifferent. There's pros and cons to that. There's pros and cons to our current system. But that is why we're doing a leave committee, and there's some of the details, and I will stand for any questions.
Questions? As a member,
Sorry, can you just tell us the dates of when you're meeting?
Yep. So we're meeting January 16th, January 30th, February 13th, and February 27th. There's 4 dates scheduled. If they're not all needed, then we'll cancel, but at least they're scheduled out ahead of time.
other questions? As a member of the negotiating team, this was brought to negotiations the night of the negotiation process. And it was just too big of a lift to try to do it in one night. So that's why we extended it. We offered a committee. And I'd like, how many people, you said 32?
32 have responded and 31 can commit to all the dates and 1 cannot.
Okay.
We'll look for representation in all areas, so certified from the different grade levels, classified, administration. So we'll make sure that there's a variety of representation. And what we'll most likely do is, it's a random pick. I mean, but we'll make sure that all of the,
There's a
the-
breadth of perspectives.
yes, absolutely.
Any other questions? So that's an update, and then depending on the vote of the, I would imagine it's the certified staff, because that's negotiations,
Mhm.
that then what they deem necessary is what may come to negotiations.
Yes.
Okay.
But we will have classified representation because it's just been the history of the district that typically what is negotiated for certified, we honor for all staff, even though it's not negotiated for them. And so we'll definitely have representation because it affects them kind of in a different manner.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions?
You had indicated that it's a random pick. Who has that random pick?
Well, we found this new wheel of spin or wheel of fortune spin, whatever. I mean, I could record it so people can see it. So whether we're drawing it out of a hat, but the computerized things make it really convenient. That's most likely what we'll do.
How many do you anticipate on the committee?
Probably at least a couple from each area. You get them too big and it gets a little bit complicated, but.
That's why I was wondering about the 31. That seems a little large.
Oh, it is. I'm not going to have all of them on there. That's, yeah.
Okay.
But I do appreciate the intent and people willing to serve on it for sure.
Other questions? Thank you for that update.
Okay, thank you.
Item number 6 on our agenda is communications and correspondence or the public comment. If a member of the public initiates specific complaints or charges against an employee in order to protect the employee's rights to privacy and due process, the board will only hear those complaints or charges in closed session. The board encourages concerned individuals to file complaints using the appropriate district complaint procedure and appropriate forms, which can be obtained from the district's website. As per policies B, DDH, and KD, please limit your comments to the board to one time. If your comments have been previously submitted in writing, please refrain from addressing the board a second time. Policies B, DDH, and KD continue to state, questions asked by the public shall, when possible, be answered immediately by the chairman or referred to staff members present for reply. Questions requiring investigation shall be referred to the board or administrative staff for consideration and later response. I do have one in writing that came in earlier today. It's from Jason and Danny Hurd, who are parents. When are we going to revisit the 4-day versus the 5-day school week and the effect it has had on our students? Also, will there be discussion about possibly changing start and end times to the student's day and pickup and drop-off times for parents? Will there be discussion about restructuring schools so there aren't so many transitions for students? That is K3, 4-6, 7-8, and 9-12. We do have an agenda item a little bit.
I'm just so relieved that it wasn't me.
We do have an agenda item a little bit later in the agenda to discuss directives to the calendar committee. So I think that's the appropriate time to bring that up and to answer those questions. So with that being said, are there other public comment?
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the school board. I'm Mark Cholock, teacher at Rock Springs High School. I wanted to make a couple statements about the leave committee because some of the information you just heard is inaccurate. Number one, we did not negotiate to have a committee. SEA made a proposal. The board rejected it. It was the board's idea to put together a committee to look at it. We just put a proposal out for consideration that was rejected. The only thing we asked for, and this isn't the first time this has come to negotiations, the only thing we asked for is for sick and leave days to be reclassified as paid time off. And every time we brought this forward, we've always heard, oh, this is a major lift. This is going to change so much. There's so much we have to do. But none of that has ever been explained. Many districts, many businesses have paid time off. So I've looked a few things up. I don't see any legal obstacles that we need to clear. The big thing I've heard, that I've read, is if you change your business to paid time off, here are some pitfalls you need to look for. Okay. And it was things like making sure you communicate with the staff so they know what the policy is and things like that. Okay. This issue's been discussed several times in the past. During an earlier discussion of the proposal, a committee was formed that tweaked the leave policy a little bit, but did not address the reasons for wanting the changes to be made. Okay. The reasons why we've asked for this change is because sick time and leave time alone don't account for everything that could happen in your life. What if my furnace goes out? I need to wait for that repair guy to get there. Okay. Well, that's not a sick day. I can't call in sick. I can't take a personal day because I have to schedule that 2 weeks ahead of time for approval. Okay. That's why we brought this forward, is because it doesn't work in the lives that we lead as teachers to be able to have time to address some of those things. Okay. Another issue is with various appointments. Okay. If you have an appointment with your lawyer, okay, if you don't make that appointment, if you reschedule, it's going to take a long time to get that appointment back again. Okay. We don't have an option for that in our current leave policy. Okay. As far as the survey that went out along with this, we got a survey that told us there are 3 bad things that can happen. You're going to have to give up some days. There's going to be blackout days that you can never take off. There's going to be all these things. Do you still want us to look at paid time off? That survey, in my opinion, was put out in bad faith. It offered bad choices to everybody. I think that the point of that survey was to turn people against even us considering paid time off. Okay? If I asked any of you, would you be okay with having fewer days off? Would you be okay with having days you can't take off? What are people going to answer? Of course they're going to say no. And the fact that 30% of the people answered that we don't even want to look at paid time off, I think kind of proves my point. I don't think this was a survey to gather information. I do think these are things that the district wants to propose. Otherwise, why put a survey out? Why ask those questions knowing that they're going to upset people unless you were trying to create some preordained outcome? And I've talked to several teachers about this. A lot of teachers are upset about it. Probably what I expect happens, I think the process is tainted. I think that at this point, the comment that was made to me is that, oh yeah, this is just like the calendar committee. They're going to do it until they get the result they want. Okay. You guys don't talk enough to people in this district, and you don't know what people believe is going on at the CAP. Okay. You just, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. This has made me personally livid. I thought we had turned the corner from these kind of tricks, basically. I consider this a trick. The whole survey is just there to turn people against the whole idea of paid time off. So I guess we can continue on with the 42 different classifications for time off so that HR can keep track of every reason I need time off. The policy we have in place right now is being abused. It's going to continue to be abused because it doesn't work, because it doesn't fit the realities of people's lives. And now that we're at work until 4:30, nobody schedules appointments after 4 o'clock. Okay, so you've made the problem of needing time off worse by making us work later into the day. In the follow-up email we got to this, it was mentioned, well, we gave you guys 16 extra Fridays off. Yeah, but you know what? Doctors aren't open those days. Dentists aren't open those days. They didn't change their schedule because we changed ours. And why would they? So anyway, I don't see really any reason to consider this leave committee at all, because I think the well's already been poisoned and there's really nothing left to say about it.
Thank you. Further public comment?
Good evening, Chair Jellicoe, members of the school board, Superintendent McGovern, audience, directors, everyone, Merry Christmas. We're glad to always have this monthly opportunity to come and share with you the wonderful things going on at Rock Springs High School. And lucky for us, we have about 3 weeks off, so it's a real short report tonight. So lots of things still going on. As we prepare this weekend, we have the Flaming Gorge basketball tournament. So we will be hosting both at our gym and at East Side basketball teams from all across the state of Wyoming, some from Utah, all over the place. We start this Thursday. It'll go all, Thursday afternoon, all day Friday, and all day Saturday. It starts at 11 o'clock on Thursday morning, and we should have excellent turnouts, and would love for all of you to come and see. If you would like, we are posting the they keep changing the schedule, or I would give you a schedule tonight. But we keep having teams drop and all kinds of fun stuff. So we've had 4 iterations of the schedule just in the last 2 days. So if you are interested in knowing what that schedule is, please shoot me an email and I'll send you a schedule. It's always a great time, and I promise you don't have to pay because I'll get you in for free. It's good to be the principal. So anyhow, that's going to kind of wrap up for the month of December. Then we go on a wonderful Christmas break. And then, of course, we come back right after Christmas break. We have boys swim at home on January the 6th. We start our home basketball season on the 7th, and then another round on the 10th. And then, of course, January 13th and 14th, we have the big wrestling tournament, the Thoman Jackman Invitational Wrestling Tournament. So sports teams are doing great. We just sent a group of students off to the state thespian competition, and we had 7 students place in the top tiers. I'm hoping to report on those on our next meeting. Our sponsor was going to get me all those names. We had an excellent turnout at that competition. Speech and debate is going strong. We are doing all kinds of fun activities, and of course, we're getting ready already for the end of the dance and cheer season. They moved up the state championships for those, so those will be coming up very quick as well. So before we know it, it'll be May 24th at 6:30, and all of you will be at Tiger Stadium for graduation. It happens that quick, so
Yes, it does.
we just got to get on board and get going. So that's kind of the updates on those. Just a few things. At the end of the year, we always try to take some time and reflect. I want to continuously thank the school board, Superintendent McGovern, Jody Gardner, the directors for hiring Don't Ever Stop. Gene and Copper have been true to their word. They've been here every month. They spend 3 days, some weeks even 4 days. They spend lots of time outside of their contract helping Rock Springs High School as we turn the corner so that way we can be in compliance with state statute and move towards evidence-based grading at the high school. I can't thank them enough. They just wrapped up a 3-day visit. They have been helping us as administrators become more aligned with our administrator evaluation of the facilitators. So we've been very thankful for them. Their next visit, mark your calendars, January 10th, 11th, and 12th. As always, members of the school board, directors, central office personnel, you're always welcome to come in. We have quite a bit planned for those 3 days as we move forward. And then we have a great big 4-day week and a Friday PD that they're going to be helping us get together on. So we're looking very much forward to that. And as we move towards evidence-based grading, we know that there are going to be some hiccups along the way. We've been trying and we've been looking and doing different models within our classes on what standards-based grading would look like as we move down this path. The administration and the staff, and probably the students as well, are looking forward to the future conversations within policy and policy committee in regards to our grading practices and looking at how we can be more unified with evidence-based grading, not just at the 9-12, but at the K through 12th grade level. We're looking forward to those discussions with those policies, along with all the other policies, because for those of you that are new, there's a policy for everything. And this is a big policy. This is going to affect us greatly. But I can look at all of you and say we're not going to harm any children in our practice and what we're trying to do. And as we're moving forward and doing and what we're doing and practicing and seeing what we're looking at. Our students are performing well. Our students have improved their YTOP scores just from last spring to the fall test. I'm hoping that in February I can come to you and present the 2 rounds of our interim testing with just the changes that we've been making. And that's due to Gene and Copper. It's due to your guidance and support. It's due to us taking a look at the policies that we need to ensure that we are providing a quality education and we're truly measuring what students know instead of what they do. Because what they do, they've been getting away with for a long time. Let's see what they know. So we look forward to those conversations. And as always, I stand available for any questions, but thank you. Thank you for all you do, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you. We look forward to some future recognitions.
Got it. Questions? Perfect. Thank you.
Other public comment? Other public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 7, the 2021-2022 audit report. I'd entertain a motion to approve the 2021-2022 audit.
So moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Mickelson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Thompson. All in favor? Let me say, any discussion? Then all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Treasurer's reports. Mr. Duncan.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Before I get going, I'd like to give a shout out to Gina and Nancy and the department heads and their support staff for all the work that goes on during the audit. Gina pretty much coordinates the whole thing. She drafts large sections of the report and then reviews a preliminary report from the auditors. And there's a lot of work and late nights and weekends that go into that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, treasurer's report for the general fund, month of November. Beginning balance, 13,853,713.19. Revenues received during the month, 19,111,694.45. Interbank transfers in, 20 million even. Intra-bank transfers in, 1,562,096.18. There were warrants written during the month, 8,641,775.27. Interbank transfers out, also of 20 million even. There were voided checks of $517.48 for an ending cash balance of 25,886,246.03. Moving on, treasurer's report for the school lunch program, November 2022. Beginning balance, 1,531,346.18. There was interest for the month of 3,019.04. Revenue for the month of 70,498.26. There were federal reimbursements of 127,333.39. FFVP, that's Fresh Fruits and Vegetables Program, the grant reimbursement, 16,694.70. There were reimbursements back to the general fund of 306,177.10. There were bank transfers for the FFVP grant of 16,694.7 with an ending balance of 1,426,019.77.
Entertain a motion to approve the.
Madam Chair, I've got one more.
Still we have Head
Yeah,
Start.
I was just making sure
Okay.
that we had it up before I started. Yeah, Treasurer's report for the Head Start program. Beginning balance, 96,821.46. Deposits of 285,011.27. Warrants cleared of 285,152.07 for an ending balance of 96,680.66.
Now I'd entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report, the general fund, school lunch, and the Head Start budgets. Moved by Mrs. Summers. Second? Second by Ms. Schumacher. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. The warrants. Mr. Duncan.
Okay, we have the checks numbers 155,881 through 156,508 in the amount of 4,183,533.83. Net payroll check numbers 129,155 to 129,172 and 774,126 through 775,490 in the amount of 2,850,920.61. Check number 3604758, and this was a WGIF transfer in the general fund of total amount of 14 million even. Check number 11022022, also in the general fund. And this check was to the District Director of Internal Revenue for an amount of $810.17.
Is there a motion to approve the district warrants and release them?
Madam Chair, I've got also a list for releasing the payments.
Okay.
A separate listing.
Right,
if
that's
I may.
approval of the district warrants and approval to release the payments. Okay, so that would be the motion. It's been moved by Mrs. Thompson. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Wood. Discussion.
To declare a conflict
Yes,
within the check
yes.
to attending the Wyoming School Board Association.
Okay, so there's a conflict there?
Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Wood? Conflict for Ms. Wood. And I too have a conflict on check number 00156-350 for the same purpose, the School Boards Association Conference. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion passes. Consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are matters about which the board has governing policies, implementation of which is delegated to the superintendent. They will be enacted in one motion in the order listed below. There will be no discussion of these items prior to the time the Board of Trustees votes on the motion unless members of the board request specific items to be held and discussed separately and/or removed from this section. Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Okay, as I read through these, if you want further discussion on any of these, just please say hold, and we'll come back to it later. Okay, A, approval of the minutes from the November 14th, 2022 regular meeting. B, approval of the minutes from the November 14th, 2022 executive session. Okay, this is an addendum item. C, approval of the minutes from the December 6th, 2022 board workshop. D, curriculum, approval to purchase career and technical equipment and supplies. Okay, E, facilities, approval to go out for bid for the purchase of a new Rock Springs High School pool scoreboard and computer. F, facilities, approval to go out for bid for the purchase of an indoor batting cage and softball equipment. G, this is an addendum item, approval to upgrade elevators at the Rock Springs High School and Central Administration Building. H, also an addendum item, facilities, approval of the bid to resurface the track at the Rock Springs Junior High School. I, finance. Approval of the resolution granting use of the past signatures and signature stamps. J, also an addendum item, human resources, approval of personnel recommendations. K, nutrition services. And on the addendum or on the hires, we have 2 addendum hires that were student teachers, so that's good news to fill a couple of positions. K, nutrition services, approval of additional shipping costs for liftgate delivery for a Tralson refrigerator. L, also an addendum item, nutrition services, approval to purchase software from EMS Link, LINQ, Inc. M, technology, approval of the renewal of Power School. N, technology, post-approval of the renewal for Securely. O, transportation, approval of the bids for district fleet vehicles. P, transportation, Approval to declare one vehicle as surplus property and to go out for bid for the purchase of one new like vehicle with the surplus vehicle to be disposed of by trade-in. That completes the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve? It's been moved by Mrs. Summers. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Cochran. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item number 11, early notification of retirements and resignations. Approval of a one-time early notice incentive to all certified staff or administrators. Do we want to go into any more detail? Would the board like a little bit more detail? Are we good? Okay. Then is there a motion to approve it?
So moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Mickelson. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Wood. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item number 12, sick leave payout. Approval of a one-time sick leave payout for certified staff. Is there a motion?
So moved.
It's moved by Mr. Mickelson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Summers. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item number 13, general board business. Approval of the calendar committees to begin drafting proposed 4-day school week calendars for the 2023 and 2024 and the 2024-2025 school years. Is there a motion? Moved by Mrs. Thompson.
I would like some further discussion about that.
It's after the second, okay? So the motion was Mrs. Thompson? Is that correct? Motion was Mrs. Thompson. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Wood. Discussion.
What exactly is it that the committee's going to do? I mean, this says that it's a 4-day school week. Are we looking at start and end times? Are we looking at anything other than the 4-day school week altogether?
Superintendent McGovern?
Chair Jellicoe, members of the board, and our community. For this agenda item right here, it is solely for the calendar committee to continue with the 4-day school week and then also bring back proposed calendars for the next 2 years. These would include things such as the first date that certified staff return on contract, the spring break dates, Thanksgiving vacation, Christmas vacation, closed Fridays, PD, those types of things. It doesn't include anything about start and end times or anything other than what is listed. And it would be for Farson Eden School as one calendar committee. The other would be in town and Wamsutter Desert School.
Further discussion?
Just, I mean, it's not necessarily pertaining to this specifically, but is there any discussion as to when start and end times may be working again?
Superintendent McGovern?
Chair Jellicoe, trustees, again, members of the community. We do plan to take a look at those. And the reason for that is because one of the chapters from the Wyoming Department of Education has adjusted how they calculate the instructional times. And so when we applied for our calendar a couple years ago, we were approved for 2 years. And so now, since we are beginning the next 2-year cycle, we always take a look at what the latest rules and regs are for that. And that might necessitate some information being brought back to this board. We'll know more when we start to take a little bit closer look for that. And then if there's anything that this board would like us to consider, please let us know.
And
Just to clarify, when do you get that information? When would that be?
well, I was just going to say, because there may have been some change to the statutes and the rules and procedures, but we were grandfathered because we had approved a 2-year contract, 2-year calendar. So now we've got to go back and look at those. So the calendar committee will start their work. We'll take a look at that stuff. Clearly, it will be done before, I would say, March or April, probably on that timeline.
And can you remind me what are the proposals due to the state?
May 15th, or May 1st? May 1st.
May 1st.
May 1st, yeah. So it will have to be done before, probably come forward in March or April, because it does have to go to, we have to approve it to go to the state by May 1st. Other questions or comments? Okay, with regard to the public comment, I will just say, because we actually only have 1 year of data, and that was partly still in the COVID era, with things that were going on with regard to COVID, we really don't have data enough to warrant a change from the 4-day. And that's why the proposal is to approve a 4-day school week. Moving forward, we need more data. Further comments? Okay, there has been a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. For board information, you have the October Farson Eden Advisory Committee meeting minutes. There's an update on the ARP ESSER Safe Return Plan 6-month review. That's there because it has to be reviewed every 6 months, so that's there for your information. There's been no changes to it, but it has to come before the board as an update. 15, good of the order. Any good of the order?
Madam Chair,
Mrs. Thompson.
I just want to give a brief update on the climate committee. We did meet again, and we do have 2 viable options at this point. However, we are still researching. We really want to have at least 3 options to present to the board with a recommendation on one of them. Going forward, unless someone on this board has an extreme strong desire to fill Max's spot, Andrea and I will continue on that committee together by ourselves, just because we are having some good momentum right now and we want to keep moving forward without having to take a step back. So far, we've already had 3, almost 4 meetings. We will be reaching out to get more options, and the 2 options that we have now will be giving a presentation to the Climate Committee survey so we can learn more about what services they can provide for us and if we think they would be a good fit, so we can get a better idea when we have a recommendation. Any questions? Did I cover everything, Andrea?
I think so.
Max? Thank you, Max, for serving with me on that.
Yeah, it was good.
Does anyone have a burning desire to fill Max's seat? Yeah, Andrea and Stephanie, then please proceed.
Thank you.
Further good of the order. Anyone? I just want to thank those that attended the Wyoming School Boards Association conference in mid-November. I think it was a good introduction, and I enjoy the sessions and meeting with the people that are there. Also a reminder of the January board workshops. January 14th is in Riverton and January 28th is in Casper. If anyone is interested in that, you can contact Miss Murray and she'll make the reservations. It's usually starts about 10 o'clock and goes to about 3. So it's a drive-in that morning and then come home that night. So room reservations are not necessary, but the travel would be. Okay. With regard to Mr. Supas's comment about the standards-based grading, we have a book, but I hesitate to, I think we need to get our feet on the ground a little bit more as a new board. We'll be welcoming another board member in January. So, you know, I want to hold off on that book review for a little bit and give us a little bit more time to kind of blend as a board. So, okay, let's see, item 16B, let's see, 16A, the board committee assignments. You have a copy of the board assignments in your packet. If you would send to me your preferences, let's say 5 preferences, by the end of the month, by December 31st or even January 1st, if you'd send those to me, and then those committee assignments will come out at our January meeting. Item B, board information policy BF-R, the board policy development process is there for your information. The vacancy list as notice as of December 1st is there. The November 2022 Head Start Governing Board and Policy Council monthly report is there. Okay, Mrs.
I
Thompson.
have a question.
Sure.
So if we could just back up to the board committees, is there somewhere where there's a description of these, like how often they meet, what time they meet, just so people can get an idea of what might work in their schedules?
Most of them are monthly meetings. Policy has been meeting twice a month. But most of them are monthly meetings, if that. When it comes to negotiations, that is a very condensed time for that committee to work. That's usually after the legislative session is over. But, so it's usually, this year it's probably going to be late March or April. The rec board meets about quarterly. Some of the meetings are quarterly. Most of them are monthly. Most of them are about an hour or so. Policy goes a little bit longer and stuff. But if you have questions, you could direct those to me. And like I said, if you have 5 preferences, that gives some flexibility in those assignments.
Probably a good thing to include going forward.
A plus.
A brief description.
That might be it. Maybe we could come up with a brief description moving forward on those. Okay. Let's see. We have the vacancy notice. Okay. Any other questions up to that point? Okay. Item number 17, I entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Mickelson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Wood. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. The motion passes. We are going into executive session for the purpose of legal and personnel matters. There will be action upon our return. We have everybody here, so I would entertain a motion to return to the regular session from executive session.
So moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Mickelson. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Wood. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. We are now back in the regular meeting. I have Mr. Mickelson's resignation. It is with regret that I must announce my resignation from the Sweetwater County School Board, School District Number 1 Board of Trustees, effective at the conclusion of the December 12th, 2022 regular board meeting. By statute, I am unable to continue serving on this board after I am sworn in as mayor of Rock Springs. As I will be sworn in as mayor January 3rd, this must be my last meeting, but there is no impetus forcing me from fully participating in this meeting. It has been my sincerest pleasure serving as a trustee for our district. Serving the community, students, educators, and staff of our district taught me a great deal and will continue to inform my actions. I look forward to seeing you all continuing your work. Yours faithfully, Max Mickelson, Clerk, Sweetwater Number 1 Board Trustee. So we have received his resignation. I'd entertain a motion to accept that resignation. It's been moved by Mrs. Thompson. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Wood. Any discussion? I'm just going to say, Max, that you will be missed.
Thank you. I'll miss
So-
being here. Like it
No.
has been.
There's plenty of seats out here, so
Right.
you're welcome.
Yeah. You know, I
Not
really
tonight,
enjoy-
though, not
I
tonight.
really enjoy the online. Like,
So,
dear.
so all in favor to accept the resignation, say aye.
I
Aye. Opposed, nay. The motion passes. So that let me make sure. Yeah. So that everyone knows, this is our timeline. It will be posted on Power School tomorrow, so the notice will go out. By statute, we have 30 days to fill the position. So our timeline is that we will announce it tomorrow. It will be in the newspaper Saturday because we can't get it in by Wednesday. The deadline for Wednesday is already gone. So that'll be in the newspaper on Saturday. We will accept letters of interest through Friday, January 6th, 2023 at noon, at 12 o'clock noon. So at that time, the letters of interest will close. We haven't quite worked out the schedule, but we're planning on interviewing candidates or the people from letters of interest probably before the board meeting on the 9th. So the board meeting would start at 6. We'll get some information out to you, but probably starting about 5 o'clock to do the interviews. And we'll have to set probably up a special meeting to do that. So just so that we get all the legal notices taken care of and so forth. So if anyone asks you, that's the timeline. It is a 2-year position, just shy of a 2-year position. The next election, the person would have to seek re-election after the appointment. So the hope is that we can appoint someone for the January meeting and be at full strength. Any questions? Okay, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn. It's been moved by Mrs. Summers. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Schumacher. Okay, all in favor, please say aye. 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 Opposed, nay. The motion passes. We are adjourned.